I really just want to know, like, why do you think women deserve less? Because it's like a controversial, obviously going to catch people's attention.
Sure.
You know, they see it.
Sure, sure. When I say women deserve less, it's for a multitude of different reasons, but I'll just focus on, like, let's say dating for now, right? So guys have this, you know, warped ideology that being a gentleman and being super nice and, being caring makes you more attractive to women. But the reality is, attraction and arousal are two different things. And by being a nice guy, what ends up happening a lot of times, you get stuck in the friend zone. And what I tell guys, and I talk about this in my book, guys got to give women less. If you look at the cover, I have money there, relationships, social media, and time. And the reason for that is because we live in a deregulated sexual marketplace. And what that basically means is, assuming two parties are have the age of consent, anyone could hook up. Now, we thought this would be a good idea in the 60s with the explosion of feminism and birth control, etc. But what ended up happening was, when you leave women to their own devices, they date the best guys that they can get. And that problem's been exacerbated as they become more educated and made more money. So it's left a lot of normal guys out of the realm. So what I tell guys is, you need a woman that's going to reciprocate that attention, because we're in a position now where they have all the leverage, and a lot of guys are over here courting and dealing with women that, quite frankly, don't deserve it. So when I say women deserve less, there's other aspects too, but that's what I mean, as in, like, dating. Don't simp on women that already get everything given to them. I hope that.
Let's pause right there. So yeah, basically what he's saying is, like, a lot of guys are putting these women on pedestals, right? So when they're putting these women on pedestals, they're simping. Simping is part of the reason dating is ruining. So we have 6 and 5 thinking that they're 10s. So there's truth in that.
Yeah, isn't that just like a generalization though? Because I feel like it's case specific with every person. Like, when you say that, it's like you matching one archetype of men with another archetype of women, and then you making that the case for everybody.
Well, I think the world operates on generalities, right? There's a reason why Braille isn't everywhere, because there's not that many blind people, right? So, in general, being a nice guy is going to set you back. Now, are there some girls out there that are, will reward you and give you sex and a blowjob for being a nice guy? Sure. But the reality is, being a nice guy typically always puts you on your back foot. And I think in today's day and age, where women have an enormous amount of leverage in the dating marketplace, guys need to kind of go in there with their eyes wide open so they don't put themselves in a bad situation. So generalizations are typically how the world works. Of course, there's always going to be anomalies. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. But I think in general, men need to operate from a position where they're mitigating risk and not investing too much up front. Because we have way more on the line than women do when we get in relationships.
True.
So you say, like, sex, do you think that's the end goal of a relationship? Like, where do you view that?
Well, it's the main agency that women have.
What if you don't give them that agency though? If you have, like, different priorities generally, like
The man or the woman?
The man.
Okay, what do you mean by that? If you can kind of.
Like, if you don't go into a relationship just expecting to get that out of it, then there's really no leverage there. If that's not something you really.
So let's go ahead and pause right there. It's very simple. We leverage resources, women leverage sex. That's why women hold for the guy they see the future with, right? Because they want to leverage sex against the guy that they see the future with. That's why the nice guys, you want to say they finish last, because those nice guys have traits of husband material. That's why they give it up for the bad boys.
That person.
Well, a lot of the time that's cope, right? So, like, guys will sit there and they'll be taking a girl on her seventh date. They've been talking for like 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months, and they'll sit there and cope, be like, "Oh no, like I'm just building something up," but the reality is she's fucking some other guy, right? And the reality is that men need to understand that women, right, they sell purity, they sell sugar and spice and everything nice, but what will happen is they'll open themselves up sexually to the men that they respect and are aroused by, and then make the nice guy wait, right? And they're able to kind of double dip doing that. So I think with guys, they got to basically push for sex fairly quickly in a relationship to ensure that they're not getting used.
I think
because that is their main. I mean, just let's be honest here. Like, that is their main commodity, their main agency. Like, if women didn't have vaginas, we wouldn't care. No one would talk to them.
I wouldn't say that, because that's like half the population. You just, like, dehumanizing half the population with that statement.
I mean, well, it's the reality. We're put on Earth to procreate, correct? So men, our job is to provide resources. Their job is to extract resources, and it's been this way since the beginning of time. The only reason we're able to have this whole, moral situation is because of modernity and the access to technology and how we progressed. But the reality is, in times of when times are not peaceful, we get closer and closer to our traditional gender roles, right? There is no feminism when the lights are off. There is no feminism with war. There is no feminism when it comes to preserving society and moving on forward. So, you know, the reality is that that's why the genders deal with each other. Men provide resources, women provide access to sex.
I'm gonna come back.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, let's come back to that. So basically, he's trying to say, he said it in very detailed, right? Women leverage sex. I think I said this before. Women leverage sex against men. Men leverage resources, right? What do women want at the end of the day? They want security, they want resources, and want the guy they can depend on. That is a reality, and that is a truth, and that is a fact. Make sure you guys follow for more. I've been out.